Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Sprout. So, since last episode, I have been working on some major stuff. Some major stuff. I'm going to show you guys, we'll head over there in just a moment. Let me grab my armor and stuff. I had this repairing. My boots are close enough. Those boots were just about broken when I threw them in there. Anyways, I have been busy. I think I spent about 13 hours since the last episode farming up materials. I had to go farm nether quartz. I had to go farm wool. I had to farm petals, red petals especially. I just bone milled it because, you know, we don't have the mana plugged up for the flower farm at the moment. And I didn't want to burn through all my red flowers for that, so I just bone milled petals. It's quick and easy when you're needing like a bunch of the same color of petal. And then I also spent a while... one block I want to go over with you guys. I made a black hole talisman, before I forget. Used one of our remaining Gaia spirits for this, because this build requires a ton of sandstone. It required a ton of sandstone, and I will say that this build's not done, and you guys will see that. You'll notice it as soon as we get over there. But basically, the black hole talisman, you can load it up with blocks, and so like I can place blocks here. And you can see that right now it says it's inactive. If I shift right click, you'll notice there's a little white star that appears on it, and then it says active. And so then if I get any of these sandstone bricks, they will go straight into the black hole talisman instead of going into my inventory. And then in addition, you can take the black hole talisman and pull blocks out. And for example, if I pull all of these out, and let's see, right now it says sandstone bricks, but then what I can do is I can say instead, I don't have any blocks on me. Actually, I have white Portuguese pavement. If I was to put this down and then shift right click, oops. Oh man, I activated it. Whoops. Okay, if I take this black hole talisman and I shift right click it onto there, you can see that now it says white Portuguese pavement, and if we were to activate it, it'll suck up all that white Portuguese pavement. So just a handy block to have when you're building. I quite like it myself. And when I was dealing with all that sandstone, I was like, man, I don't want to have to run all this over there. So what I would do is I'd just come back here and run through a chisel doing sandstone, and then fill up the black hole talisman with the sandstone. It was so much easier than having to just pack it by hand. Let me go ahead and sleep, actually. And we're going to head over there. Now, like I said, it's not done. It's not done. And literally, this is what I spent almost the entire time working on. One thing I do want to point out. Just for you guys, I had a couple comments about it. I bumped this up to 25 mana pools. Because I know I had a couple people that said they didn't like it as a 4x5. They wanted like a square. So... I fixed it. I fixed it for you guys, so just a heads up. But anyways, let's pop over there. And oh man, this took a lot of work. And like I said, it's not done. It's still very rough at the moment. As you guys will see, it's actually kind of funny looking right now. It was even more funny looking when I had this glowstone. I'll show you in a second, but because it's not done. But this is what I've been working on. This is just the very rough exterior. The head's actually got to be larger, and I have to do accent work because I don't want it to just be sandstone in the middle of a desert. It's going to have detail work. It's just sandstone's going to be the primary block, so I'm building it out of sandstone. It's cheap. You know, we have infinite sand at this point. And then I'll come through and I'll add accent work, and I've got to do a lot of exterior work, greenery and the platform that it's on and all that stuff. But like I said, the head has to be a lot larger. And it was funny because a little bit earlier I had some glowstone in here just playing around, and it looked kind of funny because they had like these little like beady little glowstone eyes. It was like I was using glowstone lamps down inside of there, and I put lit glowstone lamps in there, and or lit redstone lamps. Anyways, it looked kind of funny because he had like these two little beady eyes and this little head, this massive body. But yeah, this is what I've been working on. This is actually going to be our cat factory. So I've got to put a tail on the back. Like I said, I've got to do a lot of exterior work. The head, and I have to finish shaping up the body because right now the body's not exactly right. It's still, I do want the body to be kind of large like that because we're going to be inside of there doing stuff. But yeah, it's taken so long. It has taken so long. Because when I first built it, I had to make so many adjustments. Because I started with the bottom layer and just built out the very, very bottom layer just to get the shape. And then I had to shift it, and it does come to the edge here, but that's kind of how I want it. I want it to be on the back end of this jungle. Because it's a cat factory, right? Cats are jungle creatures, and it actually makes for a really nice backdrop for this. And then what we'll do is we'll have the walls, when we build the walls, we'll have them come around and connect probably into the back of the Sphinx. Now, I will say one thing to note, that the Sphinx head is not going to be a human head like a standard Sphinx. So, like Xavian was saying, because I know Xavian and KC knew that what I was working on the Discord like a few days back, because I'd made mention of it in the admin chat, but I told Xavian, I was like, I'm building a Sphinx, but it's not going to have a Sphinx head, and he's like, well, it's not a Sphinx then. I was like, well, yeah, but the style is a Sphinx, but the head I'm actually going to do is a big cat head. Since it is a cat factory, and, you know, we're kind of going larger than life, just fun. So it's going to have a cat's head, and then, like, you know, the standard, you know, commonly thought of Sphinx body, right? And so far, I've only finished the bottom floor. Well, I haven't finished the bottom floor. I've only been working on the bottom floor. Basically, it's going to be 3 floors. There's going to be 2 interior floors, and then I'm going to have a section where you can come out onto the actual back of the Sphinx and have some greenery and stuff back here, and then a room here. No clue what I'm going to put in the room just yet, but I'm going to put something there. But yeah, so this is what I have been working on. And so let's go ahead and pop on inside. And right now I just have big birch doors. I'm not for sure. Since there's Melissa's doors, I actually considered having the door be sandstone so that it blends in. And so it's like a hidden door that leads into the cat factory. But if I have a road that kind of leads through between the Sphinx's arms, I don't think I want a hidden door there because it doesn't really make any sense, right? So I think I'm going to leave it as the big... those are the big three tall birch doors, by the way. So, yeah. Anyways, let's pop on inside, and it's really lush in here, right? I'm probably going to do some work on the ceiling and whatnot. Probably do it in, like, slabs or chiseling bits. Honestly, probably chiseling bits. The ceiling. I don't know. We'll see. But this is all lit redstone lamps. And underneath these planter pots, I just have glowstone. I just chiseled it because you can't really see it. And it kind of gives that little orange border. But I want the light because the light can still come through the planter pots. So this area is all fully lit up. So, and then back in here, this is where cats are going to be housed all throughout here. And I have a really cool idea for how that's going to work out. But we've got cat pens up here, and then I wanted this area to just kind of be open. You know, I didn't want, with our sand town being as large, is that a, oh, okay, I thought I saw a spider. With our sand town being as large as it is, you know, the sand buildings taking up so much space and being so just massive and open, I wanted that same feel whenever you went into the Sphinx. So instead of having just walls of cats, granted, I mean, it would be more space efficient and more output, but I want it to look good, and so I didn't want like space, like just walls of cats when you walk in. I want it to look nice and clean. By the way, these are red petal blocks from Botania. These are just 9 petals. Just, there you go. And then we got pillar quartz and black wool right here. And then if we step on back, we have more cat pens. And then blaze lamps. This is soul sandstone. This stuff actually took a while to grind up because it's 4 sandstone per block. So I had to mine up like, it was close to like 10 stacks of sand, or soul sand, sorry, which was pretty terrible, I will say. I considered making a conjuration catalyst, this thing right here. I actually considered making this, but I was like, I'll wait, because we're going to make this, we're going to mess with that on camera. But I considered making it for the glowstone and the soul sand. So, and by the way, these are Jasper speckled bricks from Silence Gems. We went over the speckled bricks. They're really, really cheap. Like a single gem makes a bunch of fragments, and then you put those fragments together with just stone. And then if we pop upstairs, second floor has no work done to it at all. So, there'll be more cats up here, promise. So, anyways, that's what I've been working on for, like I said, it was like 12, 13 hours or something like that. It's been so long, and I still have so much work to do to it. Because right now, I was honestly embarrassed to do the episode right now because the Sphinx just looks so pitiful. Like, his body needs so much shaping work, especially in that section right there. The head's got to be much larger, and yeah, just a lot of work to do. But I think once it's done, I think it'll look nice. So, I started building the head now. Then I got it, that little like square, just kind of basically just figuring out the shape more or less. And I was like, that's way too small. Like, this thing's got to be larger than life. It's got to be, you know, impressive, massive, at a distance kind of glance thing, at a glance. But yeah, and I've got to do a lot of accent work. It's going to be a lot of like lapis blues, like chiseled lapis and white and some gold and stuff like that I've got to do. So it has to look fitting, basically. But anyways, I did prep a couple things. I got a couple more chunk loaders, and I got an ender actuator. I got some supercharged violet sapphire chests. I think they're going to match very, very well. Also some hoppers. Now, one thing to note is, even though I'm avoiding using conduits, you know, aside from the magical-based conduits and stuff like that, I will say that in this episode, we are going to use a few transfer nodes, and that's only due to the fact that Ars Magica item transfer does not work. That was my original intention to use in this build, because we're going to use a little bit of other Ars Magica with this setup. But due to the fact that Ars Magica item transfer, I mean, this isn't even like working anymore. Like, it just doesn't even work. I mean, these two right here, they're doing their thing, but the majority of these aren't even inputting items, they're not outputting items, and yeah, it's just been, these things, they look pretty, we'll probably still use them for decoration, but they're not reliable for anything that I want to actually be running. So due to that, we're going to use some transfer nodes from extra utilities today. And it looks like my sand thing shut off again. That's okay. I fixed it, and it was running fine. But it's okay. We still got like infinite sand. So anyways, the first thing that we're going to be needing today is we're going to need cats. Okay? Now technically I could go out and I could capture them or tame them with fish and all that mess. And scour the jungle for a while till I find 2 cats to start breeding. But Silence Gems adds a whole lot easier way to get that. If we go over to Silence Gems, down here, somewhere, right here, there's Summon Kitty. There's also a Summon Puppy that you can make with raw meat, pork and beef, I believe. Yeah, pork and beef. And then a rawhide bone that's just crafted, and then any kind of gem. There's also kitty cats, and that's just pretty much any kind of fish can be used. Well, it looks like it has to be the vanilla fish. It can't be any of the other mods fishes from like Water Strainer or Dungeon Tactics. But anyways, a fish, any kind of gem, it doesn't matter. You can use Supercharge, you can use Standard, and then also a yarn ball. That's just a shard, which is actually what you use to make those speckled bricks, and then just a bit of string. So let me go get a bit of string, and I will say that this thing is going to pay back that string like no problem. And I'm going to grab like a stack of fish. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 stacks of fish, string, and we'll get just a bit of blue topaz. I have a lot of blue topaz, and that's pretty much all that we need. So we'll go ahead and break down a few of these blue topaz, get some shards, and then wrap it in string, get our yarn balls. And I'm going to go ahead and we'll start with 16 of these. So that way it kind of makes it a little bit easier. I don't have to breed as many if I just go ahead and spawn them in like that. So yarn balls, fish, gems, and there we go. We got 16 Summon Kitty balls, yarn balls. Alright, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pop over to our Sphinx. And I will say the outside's not lit up as well as I wish it was, but okay, there's mobs all over the place. No, stay out of here. Alright, I think we're going to start on this front section, I believe. I don't know if I want to do the back section or the front section. I think I'm going to do it back here first. I'm going to start back here. So then what we can do, and I mean, I'm going to have a lot of cats in these fences, like a bunch of them. But we'll go ahead and just start putting in our kitties. Wow. There's going to be so many cats in this place. Like, you walk into this building and it's just going to be like, meow, meow. I love cat factories. They're my favorite. Alright, so there we go. And I'm just going to tell all these cats to sit. I don't want them trying to follow me. Yep, everybody sit down. Everybody just have a seat here. Haha. Okay, there we go. I'll probably do like 16 per pen. So this back section would have like 64 cats. Honestly, that's going to be more than enough. But anyways, there's what we're wanting. You can see they're starting to drop balls of fur. That is what we want. That's actually additions that adds that. Absolutely love the balls of fur. They just make cats so useful. I mean, even if you just have a couple cats for a pet, you know, they're semi-useful. But whenever you actually start automating cats, they're so powerful. They are so OP. It's like the most OP thing in the world. Like, it's great. And I'm going to go ahead and put down a chunk loading board. Let me see. We are right here at the moment. So if I put down the chunk loading board right... Let's see. If I go to this edge here... Okay, technically now we're through that chunk border. So what I'm going to do... So I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to put the chunk loading ward actually right in here. That would put it... Or maybe right here. Yeah, because that would load then these 9 chunks. And then what I'll do is I'll just have to load this back section. That's fine. So we'll just put our chunk loading ward right in here. And I'll go ahead and mark these so that we know that it's all claimed. And then up here I can just use 1 to load the whole front section. So, alright, that's fine. And then the whole Sphinx will be loaded. You know, if I just load 1 more chunk loading ward up here loading this, and then 1, I guess, loading this section here, that'll be fine. I'll probably do like the sugarcane cactus automation back in here. Because I know the tower is going to be like right in here. Our astrological tower, so... Anyways, that's fine. That'll be good. So, anyways, that's loaded, and our cats are now producing balls of fur. And actually, you can see, I mean, they produce these things like crazy fast, right? 12 of them already. And that's just with 16 cats. And what you can do is you can actually just take and right-click these. And you can see I got some gravel, I got some wood, some raw beef, some clay, ink sacks, salmon, and cobwebs. And actually some fish too, because I didn't have that many fish. And so basically that's what, you know, what the balls of fur are for. Now there's actually a fairly good chance that you can get iron ingots, gold ingots, diamonds, emeralds, like all kinds of things. Like literally your imagination is the limit as far as what the cats can drop. I mean, they can drop all kinds of things. And in my experience, they tend to drop diamonds and emeralds you get about 1 every stack and a half to 2 stacks. Okay? So, I mean, it's not something that's going to be popping up all the time, but if we were to have, say, I mean, just that bottom floor is going to house, like, 2 stacks of cats. And then you got the top floor too. So I mean, by that judgment, every like couple minutes we'll be getting diamonds, we'll be getting emeralds, you know. So they're going to be coming in very, very quickly. And then once we add the second floor in, it's going to be insanely fast. And while we're back here, let me go ahead and get like another 16 cats. And you can use these for making string. That way I can fill out that other pen as well. So we'll have basically 2 pens full of cats. And I'm hoping they don't despawn on us at all. Fingers crossed. There we go. Balls of yarn. And then we'll get our summon kitties. And like I said, you can breed these. Just, I don't know. I feel like making summon kitties is cheap enough that might as well just make summon kitties. So anyways, let's go ahead and set up the item collection method. And what we're going to use, I've got to test something. I haven't tested it yet. Because I'm not sure if this will work on a hopper or if I need to do a chest to the hopper. I know it doesn't work on mechanical users because I did test that. But anyways, what we're going to be making is we are going to make ourselves a broom. And it is, in fact, a magic broom from Ars Magica 2. Really, really cool block, and honestly, I think it's going to look great in the cat factory. I think by the time the cat factory is done, it's going to look really, really amazing. I'm super excited for it. So for the magic broom, we're going to need just a hay bale, a couple sticks, and then we're going to need some of this arcane ash, arcane compound. So I'm going to start off by making, I think, 4 of these would be good. Let me get some stone, and we'll go ahead and get our arcane compound. 32 of those sounds good. And we'll get this smelted up. I just need 8 of them. And then I'm going to need just a few hay bales, which I've got some down here. I'm just going to steal them from the warehouse, because I think all my hay bales are in the warehouse right now. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our magic brooms. So there's 4 of those. And eventually I'm probably going to need a bit more of these. So I've got to see how they work with the nether brick fences, though. I don't know if they'll go over them and collect the items, or how they're going to do it, so... but let's go ahead, we'll pop back over here, and if you guys have never seen the magic broom, I think you guys are really going to like this, because the magic broom is just awesome item collection. You know, I mentioned it in the past, I wanted to use it for some things. This is one of those things that I want to use it, because it kind of makes sense, right? Because the cats are dropping like these nasty fur balls, right? So, you know, if you have a cat, you're familiar with that, and you go over and sweep it up. Well, for us, our magical brooms do it. Look at all these fur balls. 28 more fur balls. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a hopper. I'll put that, yeah, I think I'm going to put it like right here will be the hopper. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the magic broom. I'm not for sure if this is going to work. I think it only works with the chest, but I'm kind of curious. Oh, it does. If we shift right click the broom onto the hopper, then it's going to start running around. And right now it's trying to get back in there. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to actually pull up some of these fences, and I'm gonna make one big pen instead of having the pins split like that. I think just so that our broom can get between them. Now, granted, I could use a hopper hawk. At first, I was thinking about using a hopper hawk for this, but then I was like, well, why not use a magic broom, like something that we haven't used a bunch of? I see you trying to grab my stuff here. And you can see that the broom is heading off into that pen, and if we give it a second, I think it's coming back right now. There we go. You can see it just picked up all the balls of fur and all the nether brick fences that were on the ground and dumped them into the hopper. So that's perfect. That works as intended right there. Awesome stuff. This is going to be great. I think you guys will like it. And let's go ahead and put down our summon kitties. We actually might do more than 32 in this one big pen then. But we'll put cats out through here. Be cats for days. I wish my cats made diamonds. That would be wonderful. Wonderful. So there we go. We have 32 cats in here now. Gosh, they're a noisy lot. But honestly, I don't want to put sound filters in this, really. I want the cats... I want it to sound like a cat factory when you come in here. But I wanted to get diamonds and stuff on farm because we're low on diamonds. Like, we are always low on diamonds in this pack, it seems like. And with the amount of mana diamonds that I'm going through, yeah, I wanted to get this on farm. Okay, so our broom is collecting the balls of fur now. I'm just going to go ahead and put these into here, and so they can actually start building up. And then what we're going to do is we are going to head back. We're going to make a couple extra utilities items. And like I said, my plan with this series wasn't to use conduits, you know. I've been trying to use Britannia stuff and Ars Magica stuff. Down the road, I can always change this over to Blood Magic conduits. We're just not far enough in Blood Magic. Ars Magica was the intended method for the transfer, but I mean, at least we're not getting into RF power. So we'll break this rule, and then later on I can come back through with Blood Magic conduits to make it work. But we are going to want a couple things. First up, we are going to want a filter from extra utilities. String, sticks, and redstone. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead and make like 4 of these as well for now. And then we're also going to want transfer nodes. These require transfer pipes. That's stone and glass. And it makes 64 of them. And we're not going to do like a big transfer network. It's probably the best way at the moment to filter things. You know, if we can't use the Ars Magica, that's the only reason I'm using that. So let's go ahead and get ourselves some. So we'll go ahead and make. Well, I don't actually need that many of those. I'll go ahead and craft them just because. And so there is a stack of transfer pipes. And the rest of the stuff I'm just going to throw on the ground. I don't want it. Let me go dump my inventory off, actually. Because I've got a bunch of junk from those balls of fire. I don't need that. Alright, so then in addition, I'm going to want transfer nodes. Let me go get some wood real quick. And I haven't put the corporeal sparks. If you hadn't guessed, I hadn't put those in. I was meaning to, and it was written down on a piece of paper right here to remember to do that. But I was so tied up building that, honestly. That's my excuse. Anyways, there is... Oh, it crafts 4 at a time, but there's 16 transfer nodes. That's fine. Alright, and we got our filters. We've got our chest. And then we're also going to want to get ourselves some mechanical users. And I'm going to start with 4 of these. These require resonating redstone crystals, droppers, and levers. And speaking of cats, that was our cat. Well, not technically our cat. It's like a stray cat that just kind of showed up a while back. I know I made mention of it in one of the videos then, but I can't remember. It's been a while back, but anyways, I can't remember when it was, but it's been a while back. But it showed up. Is it cobblestone? Really? And it's just kind of been living here, sort of. It kind of comes and goes. It goes to the door and it meows when it needs to go out. So that's what it was doing. Alright, so let's get 4 droppers. And then we'll get our 4 mechanical users. There we go. And that's the main thing I need right now. Oh, and then I'm going to want... no, that's everything. That's everything that I need right this second. Alright. So, let's pop back over there. And by the way, I started mentioning it last episode, but I forgot to... I got sidetracked and never finished. But basically, between the sand and our main town, and as well as the other towns that we're going to do later on, we're going to have... I guess technically 4 different types of transport between towns. One of those is our subway system that, you know, will run between them using mine carts. Then we're also going to have a roadway system. As you saw, I've been working on that. And then we're also going to have a luminizer system. And then we're going to have teleportation as well. So we'll have 4 different ways to get between the towns. So you can just kind of pick and choose what you want. Oh man, there's balls of fur getting out of there somehow. I wonder... I think it's... Look at all these. It's crazy. The broom is not... He's not covering this area here. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to... Is he stuck? I think he got stuck or something. I may actually have to push this back a little bit. Because he's pushing the cats around is what's happening. That's why they're getting moved. Okay, well, I mean, if worse comes to worse, I can trim this fence row back by like 1. I don't see how he can cover all of that area but not cover this right here. Unless he just doesn't like the fences themselves. Which is a possibility. I mean, I guess I could technically just have brooms all over the place and just loose cats. But, anyways, yeah, see, I've got, like, balls of fur way over here. Like, they're supposed to drop them under themselves. Move some of these cats back. I mean, granted, a hopper hawk would just collect them and probably not run into this issue, but I don't know. I really want my broom, though. I don't know, we'll see. I might end up making hopper hawks and just have the broom kind of moving around and then have the hopper hawk, you know, collecting items as well. Just kind of the broom just for looks. Because a lot of times this stuff's getting thrown out and he's having issues getting it, so I don't know. I'm going to trim that back and then hopefully he can get to everything. I might actually remove these segments back here and have it maybe more like this. Maybe trim these off as well. So maybe the broom won't act up. I don't know. We'll see. I've just got to kind of watch it and see what happens. So, Anyways, I'm gonna turn down friendly creatures because it was at 100% on the sound volume. Anyways, let's push these guys out of the way here. There we go. Get back. And what I want to do then is set up our actual system for using these. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use mechanical users. And I'm just going to put this like right there. Okay. And then what I'm probably going to do is just bring this back. And we'll do it just kind of like that. I mean, I know it's not because I have even numbers here and uneven, but that's okay. I don't mind that. I don't mind it being a little bit lopsided right there. So anyways, you can see the mechanical user. Yeah, there's iron. It's breaking through those balls of fur. I'm going to leave it on generic click, right click, random slot. That's all good. And that is working, which is great. And then what I want to do is I just want to put a transfer node down right here. And we're going to say that in our filter here, we're going to go ahead and blacklist balls of fur. Oops, left click, and then change this to blacklist. And everything else, that's good. And so then it's not going to... Oh, whoops. Then I actually have to put the filter into here. But then it's not going to grab the balls of fur anymore. So it's only going to grab, you know, like the beef and different things like that. And then what we'll do is we'll just put a chest here, setting like right there, I think. And then we'll just put a transfer pipe connecting to it. And for right now, I'm gonna use these kind of as buffers, and then I'll probably actually have to put some speed upgrades in these because it's not gonna. I don't know if it's gonna keep up with the amount of fur that's being produced, but anyway, it's breaking down the balls of fur and then dumping the items into this chest. And it looks like... Okay, the hopper's empty now. So, hopefully this is going to keep up. If not, I mean, I can add speed upgrades. It's not an issue. Because I don't need this entire thing filled up with ball of fur, because it actually has to put its items into the mechanical user. So, but yeah, you can see, look at all this different stuff. Gold, iron, clay, gravel. You know, originally I was thinking about we're going to automate gravel with mana infusion with the conjuration catalyst, but depending, I might just pull the gravel from this and it might be enough. I don't know, because I mean gravel's not something that I'm using that much, but we can also automate it with the conjuration catalyst just for the sake of our cobbleworks as well. So we're also getting clay from this, which is good. That is something that we're probably going to automate fairly soon, but I will say that clay is going to help with this building because I need it for planter pots. Making these planter pots was pretty bad, but now we've got clay coming in. And clay, you can see that, take a look at this, certain things are more common: sticks, clay, feathers, fish, string, sand. That type of stuff is a lot more common than, you know, your metals and things that are lily pads. Things that are a little bit more, I guess, rare in the world. Alright, and for right now I'm just going to kind of use these chests because I want to make sure that we have all this stuff, have it a place to store it, you know, within our system. Oh, iron and gold again. That's awesome. Honestly, like, this spread of stuff that we're getting is actually really, really good. And then let me go ahead and set up the other side here. And I'm going to need more kitties, and I don't know if I just want to breed them because, I mean, technically they're super easy to breed. Fish, 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 fish. Oh no, sit back down. Yeah, or shift right click seems to be breeding them, but anyways, I don't know. I don't know if I just want to make more. Oops. I'll just leave this cat over here, but little kitty, come back. There we go. You sit down. I don't know if I want to breed them or just keep... Oh, ender pearls. Really? I didn't know ender pearls could even come from this. They're not very common, I don't think. I've found, I mean, in the past when I've done stuff like this, like testing around, playing around with cat factories, I've gotten diamonds and stuff, but I've never gotten ender pearls. I don't know if I've just been unlucky or what, but anyways, fish and stuff are coming in so fast. Alright, so let's pop over here, and we'll go ahead and lay this one out. Nice thing is I'm actually getting back a lot of the nether bricks that I used, or the, you know, the nether brick fences, so I can use those upstairs. So, because this is a whole lot cheaper if I just do the one big pen kind of thing, but... And then we'll go ahead and put our mechanical user on this side. We'll put our transfer node down. And pretty much, you know, just set this up the exact same way. There's that. We'll put our chest down. And honestly, I'm probably just going to go make a bunch more cats. I think so. Because it's cheap. And it's so much faster than having to breed. You know, as far as getting a farm started up, like, really, really quick, it's the best way because... you don't have to wait for the cats to grow. You don't have to filter through, sift through them, trying to breed them, and then wait for breeding times and all that stuff. So, there's our magical broom, and this pen is set up now. And then we'll just have to do actual item collection, transfer type stuff. We haven't got any diamonds yet. That's okay. And as far as item storage, like, I know we have places for, like, fish, string, sticks. We don't have, actually. Feathers clay, I'm pretty sure has a spot. Ink sacks have a spot. Vines, all the fish, experience, ender pearls, gold. Lily pads I'm not 100% sure on. Cobwebs I don't think so. I mean, most of the stuff we have places for it to be stored. And I know, like, diamonds and stuff we do as well. So, I mean, realistically, I could watch my ender chest to see, like, when new items come in that I don't have. Oh, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and grab this string. Because I'm going to make more cats. And it would be useful. And if I recall correctly, I believe they can get like lapis and redstone and stuff as well. Not 100% sure. Because I think this is actually the first time. I did use the cat factory idea a little bit on quantities. You know, I had them set up on hoppers basically. But this is like my first time actually setting up a large scale cat factory. Okay, lily pads do have a spot. So we don't have to worry about those. And then sticks. I haven't ever put sticks up anywhere. I've been meaning to, but I'm just going to put those in right there. And that's really it, I think, as far as things that need a home. And there's 4 stacks of string. So I'm going to go ahead and make, like, another, what, 32 cats? We're going to have cats, like, everywhere. Kitties, there's 32 of those. And then... 32 more cats. And then I guess technically we can already set up the item collection system. Let me go ahead and pop on over and I'm going to put down these 32 cats and then we'll set up the item collection. Because then we'll have a lot of items coming in. You know, we'll have 64 cats already. All popping out like, or no, actually 65 cats. Because we did make one baby cat. But 65 cats all pumping out balls of fur. And giving us lots of great items. So, and I mean these things drop fur like crazy fast. Yeah, now we've got 2 ender pearls. Ha ha! Awesome. We'll still do probably an enderman farm, but you know, at some point. But it's nice having those coming in. All right, so go my cats. That cat actually ended up in the wall. I placed him down in the wall. It was my fault. Sorry. I tell you what, like, creepers would hate this building. You know how, like, creepers are scared of cats, you know? And creepers would be absolutely, like, mortified in this building. Like, there's no way any creepers would be exploding in here. And the nice thing is, if, like, some kind of rogue items end up in the cat's pen, you know, because things like that, they happen, you know. Well, anything that gets picked up will go into the mechanical user and then immediately get pumped out into the chest. So, you know, and then it's going to get thrown into our ender system and then into our item sorting system. So, alright, so there's our cats. There is our cats. And it seems like it's running fine without any kind of speed upgrade, so we don't have to worry about that. That's great. Now, diamonds, we still haven't got any diamonds. They're not super common, like I said. It's all RNG with these, but they can show up. And, you know, with this kind of pack, like I mentioned before, if it's, you know, it doesn't have all the hardcore recipes, nothing like that. So, really, any kind of automation, even if we're only getting a diamond every, you know, once we have all the cats in, even if we're only getting a diamond every 5 minutes, that's fine. Because, you know, I can go AFK for an hour, come back and have enough diamonds to do a substantial amount of stuff. And with it running all the time, you know, I'm not going through diamonds constantly. So it works out very, very well. Anyways, the next thing that I'm going to want is I'm going to want just a couple red string, if I know how to type, red string containers. So these right here, just chests, and then we're going to need pixie dust, redstone, ender air bottles, and string. So I'm going to go ahead and go for like 4 of these. I'm kind of making like 4 of everything at the moment, you know, so that way I've got 2 for the front, 2 for the back, so I could do the full setup. So anyways, let me grab this. 4 bits of redstone. We got our inner air bottles, 4 pieces of string, and then we'll go get our, well, we'll get this part of it crafted, and then I have to get chests. So, mana pearls, then we'll get our pixie dust. We're getting to where some of this stuff, this more expensive stuff, is super easy to craft. And I'm just going to grab like a stack of living rock for right now. And then I want the red stringed, or wait, I need chests. And then our red string containers, there we go. Oops. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll just go underneath the Sphinx. And, oh, you know what? I'm going to need hoppers. Oh, I've got these 2 hoppers. I'm just going to use these, and then that'll be fine for now, I guess. It's strange, because for whatever reason, this hopper is not feeding into this mechanical user. Huh. I wonder why that's not auto-feeding over. Like, this one's doing fine. And the hopper's connected. I don't know. Like, it's just like, no thanks. I don't want to put items over there. Unless maybe it's just because it's not chunk loaded. That's possible, or something. Maybe it needs that updating. So let me go ahead and put down this chunk loader. So I think this one I'm actually going to put like right back in here. So it's not going to be technically inside of the Sphinx for this one. Yeah. And it's going to load these 3 chunks right here. Alright. So I guess I'm just going to put it like underground here a little ways. Alright, so that area is all chunk loaded now. And it should be good. No, it's still not working. Alright, let's put down a new one then. And hopefully the broom will dump its items, I think. There we go. Now it's feeding over. Okay, do you have my other... There's my other hopper. Okay. Yeah, for some reason I just had to replace the hopper. I don't know what would cause that. But anyways, so now that one's producing items as well. So, it's taking a really long time to get a diamond out of this one. Like, with our setup on here. Like, when I was in my test world, which, I mean, it was on Sprout and everything, I got 5 diamonds, like, in no time. 5 diamonds from, like, a single setup just running. But, that's fine. That is okay. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to link these up. Let me, let's remove that for a moment. And we'll come down underneath this. Okay. So now we're right underneath each of the chests. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have all the cat setups throughout the entire factory all fading into one central ender actuator. Okay, that's kind of my plan. I am noticing I'm not having, like, balls of fur out over here all the time now. So, that's good. Anyways, let's go ahead and pop on down here. I'm going to remove that block, and I'm on the other side as well. I'm going to remove this block. And then what we'll do is we'll just have our hoppers come straight down like that. Like that. And then they're just going to connect into some red string containers. One right there. And then we'll do one right there. And then these go, what, like 8 blocks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So like right in here-ish. Let me go get 2 more hoppers. Yeah, 2 more hoppers, I think. And then 2 hoppers, and we should be able to finish getting this set up, and then we'll just plug up our ender actuator, have them pumping into the ender actuator, so everything's going straight into our system as it's gathered. Now, initially, it's going to basically bog down our ender chest system. That's just due to items backing up. You know, it's the same way with the mechanical user. When we set that up, you know, it was going through those balls of fire for a bit. I just realized I had hoppers in my inventory. Like in my backpack. Whoops, totally forgot those were even there. Like, stuff goes in that backpack, and it's so big that I just lose track of it. Like, I know there's been so many times I've made shears and had shears in there and stuff like that. Like, oh, it's terrible. Alright, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is right here. So then what we're going to do is we're going to have a red string container setting right here. Then we'll go to the other side, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a red string container setting right here. And then all we have to do is just set up our ender actuator right here and put our hoppers onto these. So let me pop back over here. We'll just do hopper right there. So you can see it's getting raw fish. And then we'll put a hopper right here. And that one is getting fish and stuff. And I think they're just sending them back and forth right now. Yeah, they're sending them back and forth. That's fine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put our ender actuator down. And there we go. So now it's going to start dumping all these like fish and stuff steadily. It's not the fastest thing in the world. But it's going to start dumping those through that system. And dumping them out into our ender system. For some reason this one's not sending items. I don't know. I almost wonder, did my hopper bug out again? Like, is that what's going on here? So we'll try that. Okay, now it's pushing the items out. Awesome. And they should be going into this hopper, and then, yeah, they're getting dumped into the system. Okay, so that is working. That is working. And then we'll just go ahead and clean up this floor right there and right there. Okay, so all these cats, all 64 of these cats are now producing items for us. So, alright, so I left this running for a bit. We'll go back over by the base and see if we have any diamonds. If not, I might have to go get some, because what I need to do, what I want to do next requires some diamonds. And actually, whenever I started this episode, I did not have any diamonds in the system. I had used all of them up. So anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to set up our luminizer system. And we're going to have like it's going to be a very, very small luminizer system in here. But basically, moving between floors, I don't want to keep a ladder. I don't want to do stairs. I want to use something magical. And I was debating between Ars Magica, elevators, or luminizers. And I figure we'll do like a small luminizer system inside of the Sphinx here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut away like that block over to this block, and basically just kind of cut out a square that follows that pattern over there, and then it'll come over to here. Actually, I might make it a little bit larger because I kind of want it so that if you're on the second floor, you can look down and, you know, it'll kind of be open, so you can look down and see down in this lower section here. So I think, actually, I'm probably going to make it a bit larger. So we'll go like 3, actually one more bit of 3, I think. Yeah, so we'll have it just like that. So we have like this nice big open section here to where we can look down. And that's where we're going to actually transition between floors. Now, granted, I mean, I could just use my super jump or flight or any of that stuff, but we're going to have a system, because I always like having transport systems in place that, you know, even if you don't have the flight, you don't have the super jumping, stuff like that, you can still transition between the floors, you know. So, moment of truth, did we get any diamonds? We got... Whoa! We got 9. It took me, I think I was editing footage for like 20 minutes. Or something like that. I was editing down some footage. So, that's not bad at all. That is not bad at all. I'm actually going to need... no, not 9 of these. I'm going to need 6 of these. Yeah, 6 of these for what I want to do right now. So, that's not bad. That is not bad, because 9 diamonds in 20 minutes. I think our RNG was just not on our side earlier. I think is the reason we weren't getting any diamonds, because in my experience, you tend to get them like at a decently good pace with the balls of fur. So I think once we have all the cats in, like, you know, close to 200 cats or more, I think we're going to be getting a lot of diamonds in. Like, we will be probably pretty well set on diamonds moving forward. And then before long, we're going to do some We're going to do an orchid setup. You know, once we have more mana coming in, the area more lit up and stuff. I mean, right now the mana is good for our personal use, and good for working through Terra Steel and doing some of those things, but as far as orchids consume a lot of mana, so that's why I'm kind of holding off on that. Same with Lunium, actually. I plan to do a Lunium setup eventually, but not just yet. Anyways, so for the, not Corporea, for the Luminizer, I know it takes Dragonstone, also Red String, and then 2 bits of Glowstone Dust. So, I mean, they're semi-expensive, and we're going to be doing some very large setups with these very, very soon. So, fun times. It's going to be, the Luminizer transport's going to be a little bit on the expensive side, but that's okay. Oh, and bottles of enchanting. I forgot that it could drop those as well. Let's go ahead. I do have some of these up in the alchemy area, but we're going to add them to the system and just put them right here. Okay. Other than that, everything's going in here perfectly. So, we've gotten a ton of like string and clay, and we've gotten quite a few ender pearls, like almost a stack of ender pearls, surprisingly. Like, normally I have better luck with diamonds than I've ever had with ender pearls, but I will definitely take it. Like, I will take anything that it's producing. I will have to make some void upgrades probably, and some storage upgrades between this episode and next. Kind of square some of that stuff away, but that's not a problem. Alright, but here is our red string. And then we can combine that, and our glowstone, and get our luminizers. And hopefully it won't take me too long to get this Sphinx presentable. That's what I'm hoping. But my goal is, depending, next episode, well, I'm not for sure what we're going to work on next episode. I don't know if we're going to start the subway or if we're going to do some other things that I'd like to get in place. But anyways, I've got to fix the floor up here, but that's fine. It's not going to affect where our luminizers are placed. You know, it's not going to be a concern. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our luminizer drop off. We're going to have it right centered with this. So I'm thinking that what we'll do is we'll put a luminizer here, and then we'll put the other luminizer there on top of it. Okay? So one of these is going to be for dropping off, and one of them is going to be for picking up. So the one right here that's like eye level is the one that we're going to right click to take us downstairs. And then it'll be the same way down here. We're going to have like, I think I'm going to put this luminizer like right here and right here. And this is going to be, you know, kind of the opposite of that. So we've got, this one will be for taking us upstairs. So, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put just kind of like a midsection sort of luminizer, and it's going to be, I think, we'll do like right here, I think. So we're going to have like a luminizer right here and a luminizer right here. That way we don't have to worry about it clipping through walls or anything like that. Luminizers have about a range of 20 blocks, I think, if I recall correctly. And then all we have to do is just link these together. So we're going to say, like, this luminizer takes us upstairs. So we're going to start here and grab that one. And we're going to say that it connects to that. And then this one is going to connect to here. Okay, so now if we come down here and we were to come over and right-click this one. Uh-oh. That's not what I wanted to happen. Aha! Okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'm actually just going to trim down this wall a little bit. I'm probably going to play around with this and make this opening a bit larger. Based on my needs. I mean, I want like a decent little area where you walk through to these like subsections. But we'll see. I mean, I've got to get in here and figure that stuff out. So, I did warn you guys the Sphinx was not done. So, okay. It seems to be good, even if you click on it from the back side. It still sends you right up to here. So then what we're going to do is we're going to configure this one now, the one that takes us downstairs. So we're going to say that you connect to there, and then you connect to there. Okay. Now I will say that luminizers are one-way transport, so you know if I connected, say this one to that, then it would just basically would just bring me back around. Now there is ways to go about altering, there's other luminizers. For example, there is the detector, the fork, and the toggle, and we will be using those as well a little bit later on for larger systems, so that we don't have to run a ton of different lines. We can use the the other luminizers to basically toggle based on where we're wanting to go or where we're coming from. So that's kind of the plan. But anyways, so now what we can do is we can run over here, we can go upstairs, and it's going to land us off right here, and then we can use this one to take us back downstairs. Okay, so very, very simple luminizer system. I wanted to kind of cover that on camera because when I start setting up the luminizer system from city to city, I'm probably going to do a lot of that on camera. If you guys watched Quantis when I was doing it, I actually did a stream when I was setting up the luminizer system before, and it took like, what, 3.5 hours or something like that to do like a short luminizer system because, well, actually, one thing that would make our lives a lot easier is the angel block, and I'll probably make this just really, really quick. But I will say that, I mean, spanning like long distances, 20 blocks at a time, it takes a while. It really, really does. So, aside from like the specialized luminizers, like setting up our forks and our toggles and things like that, whenever we start setting those up, those I'll definitely do on camera. But as far as just linking luminizers together, I'll probably do a lot of that on camera. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a heads up on that block and everything. By the way, a couple notes to make, because I was looking out of curiosity to see what all the ball of fur can drop, and it actually can't drop redstone, lapis, emeralds. We've pretty much seen everything that it can drop, right? It's like clay, sticks, diamonds, iron, gold, all that stuff that it can drop. So I just want to give you guys a heads up on that. But anyways, let's get ourselves an angel block just really, really quickly. Because this is something I'm going to need when it comes to setting up luminizers and stuff. Now, I will say with the Sphinx project going on and working on the subway and all that, I can't say for sure that I'll get the luminizers ran between this episode and next. I don't know. We'll see. Because they are semi-expensive, of course, requiring a whole red string, 2 glowstone, and dragonstone, which is upgraded diamond. They are a little bit expensive, but of course, the angel block, what you can do is you can just place it in the air. You don't actually have to have a block to build from with it. So it is very, very handy to use, especially with luminizers. Because, you know, I've got flight. I can fly around. It's just connecting up luminizers is a pain without an angel block. So, also in our clipboard, our cattle farms, our cat factory, I'm going to go ahead and mark that off. Now, I still have to, you know, finish setting up more cats and more cats and more cats and more cats. But for all practical purposes, our cat factory is done. It's up and running, and it's producing stuff, which is, you know, that's what I wanted from it. So, but anyways, I know it's about wrapping up point, so I am going to end this episode out here. I'm very happy that we got this project done because it's going to be, after it sits and runs for a while I'm building and stuff, it's going to be such a benefit having that. Because of the sheer amount of these materials that I've been using. So, next episode, we will either be starting some work on the subway. We might do a little bit of work on the subway and then switch gears over to something else as I get things built, because it's going to take a while. I'm going to try, between this episode and next, to do a bit of work on the subway and a bit of work on the Sphinx and whatnot. Now, I will say that probably, well, actually, you know what? I don't know. I'm going to give it some thought. I'm kind of tempted next episode to actually do cactus and sugarcane automation and probably water strainer automation as well. So we can go ahead and get those 3 up and running. But I also kind of want to get into the subway system. So we'll see how much of the subway I get built between this episode and next. And play it by ear because we'll see. We'll see. Because a lot of that's going to be powered tracks and standard tracks that just, you know, spanning from this town to this town. I love that right there. Like, I love seeing things from the map, like from a map perspective. But anyways, I mean, a lot of it's going to be running tracks, so a lot of that stuff I may do off camera. I mean, we're good on gold, we're good on redstone, we're good on iron, all that stuff. Fairly good on iron. I could be better on iron, but now we're producing iron passively, so, and at a fairly decent rate. So I don't know. We might do a little bit of the subway and then switch over and start working on the automation projects, or maybe just work on the automation projects. I don't know. We'll see. So that's the current plan anyways moving forward. So but I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's been a lot of work to say the least. And if you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. to stay up to date with when new videos come out, and I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I will see you guys next time.